Badai. Paikuku Badai is a customary prohibition that guides the activities of these Badai residents, which is based in the teachings of the Sundanese Wiwitan Badai. The community does not change and does not violate everything in life that has been determined. All activities must be based on Badai Sunda Wiwitan, the pillar of religion, Badai pillar, which is a religion that engages the Wiwitan Sundanese, Nawalu, worships Nalaksa, Nalanjik, Napundayan and Nareksakyun Sasaka heritage. The traditional Puan leaders must adhere to the doctrine. Puan must be respected and followed by rules because Puan Segalan is a descendant of Batara. In Banten province there is a dynamic community with a very simple life depending mainly on rice cultivation and regardless of the times. Is a society that is very closed from the influence of foreign cultures, known as the Badai Masyarakat, or the Badai people. This community inhabits the slopes of the Kendang Mountains with an area of about 5,101.85 hectares. Administratively it is located in Kanix village, Luidamar district, Lebak Regency, Banten province. It is about 160 kilometers west of the metropolitan city of Jakarta. The name Bedouin was not originally from the Badai people themselves. Residents of South Banten who have a Muslim religion, who are commonly called Badai, a term for people who are not Kanix who are characterized by barefoot, no driving, and no formal schooling. Badai people, both ethnicity, geography, history, language, also in their own recognition are Sundanese. To distinguish from other Sundanese people who live in from outside the Badai area, they call themselves Sunda Wiwitan. The people who Awal or Wiwitan are Sundanese terms for Badai. Understanding is not only limited to ethnicity or sub-ethnicity, but also includes geography, history, language, culture including customs and beliefs. The population of Badai is 10,879 people, 5,465 men and 5,414 women, based on data from the Kanix village population census the 28th of February 2008. Judging from previous years, the demographics of population growth are fast from 1.79% per year. As a fast-growing citizen, changes in residential land territory are also expanding, continuing to develop. In Regional Regulation Number 23 of 2001 by position, inside and outside, residents take refuge. Administrative Badai is divided into two, Badai and Outer Badai. The Badai community, totaling 1,053 people, occupy the land inhabited by three villages, Chikuzik, Chikartawa and Sivaya. Badai people, amounting to 9,826 people, occupy the land which is inhabited by 57 villages and 5 regions dividing the village. In the previous year, 2003 Badai Luar was known that it only had 45 villages and 6 scenes. The Badai government structure is divided into 3 groups, namely Tangtu, Penamping and Danka. However, there are only 2 groups often used by the general public, namely Badai equivalent to Tangtu, and Urusan Badai equivalent to Penamping and Danka. The Sundanese Wiwitan view of life worldview is guided by the Paikuku, absolute customary rules. Paikuku is the rules and how it should be obligatory to travel is mandated by the living ancestors, the ancestors. This is the orientation of the Paikuku, the concept and religious activities of Badai. Until now the Badai Paikuku has not changed anything, as embodied in the substitute great-great-great-great-grandfather as anything that violates the great-grandfather's Paikuku is not codified in text, but the distribution of Paikuku, absolute customary rules incarnate in Bedouin daily actions in interacting with each other, the natural environment and its God. The chaos of great-grandparents from the Badai community, as follows. Bayut nu Datipkian ka Puan, Great Bayut entrusted to Puan. Negara Sadalungbila Telu, 33 countries, Aristocrat Sawidik Lima, River 65, Panzer Sala Negara, Middle 25 countries. Guging 2 Munang Melabar, mountains do not have to be destroyed, Lebik 2 Munang Daruksik, valleys must not be destroyed, prohibition of 2 Munang is placed, prohibitions must not be violated. Great-grandfather 2 Munang Daroba, great-grandfather cannot be changed, Lulur 2 Munang is cut, length cannot be cut, Pondik 2 Munang connected, short for not connected, new lying on other kudu, other omitted. New act must be dulikan, others have to be considered differently, new enya must dienyakayan, which really must be justified, nipit kudu amit, taking must say goodbye, nala kudu menta, taking must ask. Engaduk chikor must mihatcher, take kenter must inform you that you get. Nyokal ginger kudu my carrot, gouging ginger must tell, Najdag must be careful, shaking the tree so you have to tell it to roll first. Nyr must be measured, speech must be measured. Nyabda must be written, said to be well thought out so it doesn't hurt. Do the talking sajato ghetto, don't talk carelessly. Act lemak sedake date, not talking casually. Do malung gorjingen, do not steal despite the shortage. Act of jina papakangan, not fornication and dating, must ingedek sachekna, must cut down as needed, nilas saplasna, cutting as wide as possible. Consequence. Matak bird so queen, could fail to be leader. Matak insane so freaking out, can get crazy with nobility. Matak pupil influence, can lose influence. Matak hambar komara, can lose authority. Matak tu mahi jaridan, can lose a fight. Matak tu jaya war, can lose the war. Matak ella jajatan, can lose courage. Kasaktan ella I, can lose magic. Haikuku Badai is also realized in the existing institutions in the traditional Badai institutions led by three Puan. The three top leaders come from three villages in the sacred Badai, namely Sibaya, Chikuzik and Sakartawana, is of holy descent. Puan ancestors are obliged to preserve the earth and can cause Panzer residents to adhere to the customary provisions of the Paikuku or Absolute as a guide for behavior. In addition, the customary provisions that prohibit Badai customs and ways of life are guidelines that must be followed properly. The contents of the Badai customary prohibition are: it is forbidden to change the water in ways such as making fish ponds or drainage. It is prohibited to change the shape of the soil such as a well or level the ground. Do not enter the forest to cut down stored trees. Using chemical technology is prohibited from planting crops. It is prohibited to keep animals such as goats and buffalo with 4 legs. Do not farm carelessly. Careless clothing is prohibited. Proposal ancestors and great-grandparents Paikuku ancestors of all Badai people is done orally in the form of lectures in every traditional Ujjaran ceremony. Deliberative speech is the principle of Badai. Sunda Wiwidan Sundanese. Early Sundanese, real Sundanese, or native Sundanese, is a belief system of traditional Sundanese religion. This culture glorifies the forces of nature and the spirit of the ancestors who were not animism and dynamism. Followers of this belief system can be found in several villages in West Java, such as Kanix, Levick, Banten, Siptajalar Kasepahan Banten Kidal, Sisalak, Sukabumi, Kampung Naga, and Segugar, Kuningan Regency. In Karita Parayangan this faith is called Jatisunda. Practitioners affirm that Sunda Wiwidan has been a part of their way of life since ancient times, before the arrival of the monotheistic religion. The Sundanese Wiwidan holy book is called Sanghyang Siksakanda in Karasian. It is a didactic text of religious and moral guidance, rules and lessons. This text is identified as Propak 630 by the National Library of Indonesia. According to the Kokolak elders of Chikuzik village, the Kanix people are not Hindus or Buddhists. Their religion follows a system of belief that glorifies and respects ancestral spirits. However, during this time Sundanese Wiwidan has been influenced by and incorporated to some extent Islamic elements. The highest spiritual power in Sunda Wiwidan is Sanghyang Kursa, the powerful, or Nunar Sakyam, he who has the will. The highest is also called by several divine names or titles, such as Batara Tunggal, the One, Batara Jagat, Lord of the Universe, and Batara Seda Niskala Sanghyang Kursa in the highest in ontology and the holiest belief system of the realm, called Wananayanka. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Indra, Yama, were considered to be subordinates of Sanghyang Kursa. According to the Sundanese Wiwidan ontology, the universe consists of 3 realms. 1. Wananayanka, the sharp realm, or peak realm, the very top realm, the highest residence of Sanghyang Kursa. 2. Wanapanka Tenga, the world Tenga, earth, the realm of humans and animals, with 5 cardinal directions, east, west, north, south, and center, zenith. 3. Wana Larang, the forbidden world, hell, the realm of demons and lower spirits, the lowest realm. Between Wananayanka, natural peak, and Wanapanka Tenga, earth, there are 18 natural layers, arranged in descending order of holiness from top to bottom. At the top of this heaven is called Bumi Suki Alam Padang, or according to Propak 630, Sanghyang Siksakanda in Karasian, Alam Kayangan or Mandala Hyang. The highest of these 2 worlds is where Nyi Pahachi Sanghyang Asri and Sunan Ambu live. Sang Hyang Kursa created 7 Batara in Sasaka Pusaka Wana, place on earth. The oldest of these Batara is called Batara Chikal and is considered the ancestor of the Kanaks people. Other Batara ruled various locations in Sundanese land. The Sundanese Wiwitan value system is based on internalized written and unwritten norms. Written norms are rules and taboos that govern the way of life of followers, while unwritten norms are internal and individual understanding of faith. The basic concepts and principles of Sunda Wiwitan are based on 2 things: human characteristics and Kara Siri Bangsa. These 2 principles were mentioned by Sundanese Wiwitan parents, but not explicitly mentioned in Siksakanda in Karasia, the sacred text of Sundanese Wiwitan. The human way of character consists of the basic elements of human life. It consists of 5 fundamentals: compassion, love and affection, usik stepik, social and family structure, manners, order, behavior and rules of conduct, such as politeness and courteousness. Budi, language and culture. Language and culture value system. Wiwaha Yuddha Narada. Yuddha, which means war or battle. This principle refers to the essential human characteristic of always being alert or suspicious of foreign or unknown influences. This reflects inherent conservatism and resistance to changes in traditional village life. This implies that non-traditional influences must be rejected.